It's preparing.
I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see if we're live or not. I think we might be. Hello, are we live?
Let's see. I'm gonna look at
Yeah, I
your
think it is. Hang on. Yes, now streaming live on Facebook. Here we go.
Okay, here we are. It's been like 3 months, but we're
It
back.
has been. Yeah, but here we are. We're back. Where's your picture? I don't see. I just see your
3 months,
avatar.
but we're
It
back.
has
Oh,
been. Yeah, but here we
hold on. Let me see. Why is it? Oh, there it is. Okay, it's showing me now, right?
There we go. Yep.
Okay,
There
good.
we are. Okay. Hi. Can you hear me? What's going on?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Do you hear
Okay,
me?
good. Yes, I hear you.
Okay. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. How
We're
are you?
like technical idiots today, I think.
I was like, I've done this
Like
so
we've
many
never
times.
done
Why
this
can't
before.
I do it?
This is what happens when we take a couple months off.
Yes, we take a couple months off and I forget everything I know about anything.
I'm good. How are you? My eyes are burning tonight, everyone. So sorry if I look like a little red here in the eyes. I don't know what the hell's going on, but it's always something.
Oh, I turned my video off again.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you are.
I am just trying to find, okay, because the author's already in the waiting room. So
Yeah.
I'm like freaking out. I'm like, I want to make sure I didn't lose them. And I didn't.
Good. Good. Well, you want to just dive in here or you want to do our little chit chat for a few minutes or what do
Yeah.
you want?
How are you? What's going on with you? I mean, it's been
I'm
a
good.
while since everyone's heard from you. So if
Yeah, I've
you're
got
looking,
some exciting fun news. Like the end of July, July 30th, we celebrated our 30th wedding anniversary. So that's awesome and super proud of that. But on that day, my son proposed to his girlfriend.
oh my God.
She said yes. And so now we got a wedding coming up.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's
So
exciting.
we're so happy. Obviously, they've been together, October will be 5 years.
Yeah.
So, and I talk about Faith all the time on here, and some people have met her at signings and stuff, but yeah, now she's gonna be part of the fam officially. So
I'm so happy to hear that. That makes me
yeah,
so happy.
and so they set a date for like May of 2026
Uh-huh.
because it's too late now to get married in 25, because you got to plan and get a venue and all that stuff. So yeah, so about a year and a half, we'll have a wedding to talk about.
That is so exciting. I'm so happy.
Yeah, it's sweet. It's funny how many like things it brings up, like, oh, I remember that, and I remember, but it was
Yeah.
so neat because he proposed to her on our 30th wedding anniversary.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I think that's probably like my biggest news of the summer. I'm trying to think if anything else is going on. Not really. Like I had a book come out last week. There's that, or 2 weeks ago now, almost 2 weeks ago.
A book which everyone loves.
Yeah, I liked that story. It was a good story, and I was waiting to tell her story because we've seen her in so many books leading up to that one. So it was good to finally reveal her her trauma and her, finding her guy and all that good stuff, finding love and
Yeah.
yeah, so if you haven't read Saving Shepherd, go get it. It's available. And I know that it's hard to find. And they assure me they're working on getting it connected. I don't know why that's going on with Amazon. It's my understanding a lot of people are having the same problem, but
Yeah.
it doesn't make it better. It makes it very frustrating. You have a book release and no one can find it. So it's like, okay, I swear it is available. So if you can't find it, reach out to me. I'll give you the link.
Yes, I was like hesitating to share it because I'm like, I know everyone's gonna ask, where's the Amazon link? And then, but I
Yeah.
feel like now it's okay. We have shared the Amazon Kindle link and then we've shared the paperback link. So
Right,
if
right,
anyone
right.
has any issue, just let us know. We will
Yeah.
point.
And there is no plan for audio at this time. Waterhouse is just in a whole different space than they used to be. So I don't expect they'll do it, honestly, for any of these. Unfortunately, which makes me so sad, of course, because of just loving audio myself. But I don't know. It is what it is. Here we are. We've got one more in this series, and then that'll be my time with Waterhouse.
Yeah.
So we'll see where we go from there. I've got some plans in the works, and yeah, just taking
Some
it day
fun
by
stuff
day.
happening anyway, right? So
What?
that's some fun stuff happening.
Yeah, yeah. I'm definitely writing and got some things going on. It's just like how it's going to go to market is really the unknown part. So we'll see. We'll see when we get there.
Yes.
Or say never to anything.
Nope. Okay. So our author is here tonight, and
All
I'm going
right.
to read it in a different way than I normally do because she sent it as herself, and I think it's cute. So I'm going to say it as her.
Oh, I thought you meant like you're gonna use a voice or something like.
No, I don't have any good voices. I'm terrible. I'm just like a boring plain person. Okay. Hey there, Bryant here. For those who don't know me, which I bet is most of you, I'm a paranormal and contemporary romance writer from Louisville, Kentucky. I started my journey as a published writer in 2021. I primarily publish on the reading app Good Novel, but have had several of my completed books published in paperback on Amazon. In 2023, I took a leap of faith and dipped my toes into self-publishing directly to Amazon. Please welcome author Bryant.
Bryant. Ooh, it's a one namer, like Madonna or Cher.
And I'm really excited because
Hello.
I know the giveaway she's doing, and the giveaway she's doing is my favorite of her books. So I'm really excited about that.
Nice. We get a personal endorsement. Hello, Bryant. How are
Hi,
you? Hi.
how's it going?
It's going good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm still awake.
Yeah.
It's only 9 o'clock here on the East Coast, so
You look familiar to me. Have we met in person ever?
I don't think so. I've only been to one book convention in Nashville just in
Oh, yeah.
August.
Yeah. So no, I wasn't there. I haven't been to Nashville in like a long time because I was in the Navy and I was stationed in Memphis and we went down there once, but it's been a long
Other
time.
than other than the Black Hearts book convention that they did, they had a masquerade ball and then they did the
Uh,
convention the next day. The only other time I'd been into Nashville was I had to pick my brother up from the airport there.
Yeah.
And then I think when I was 3, when my family did a cross country
Oh, yeah.
RV, because people used to do that.
Yeah. People still do that. You see, at least I see a lot of it out here in California. People are, rolling along those monstrous things. My parents actually did that. They retired and sold their house and sold everything and got in an RV for 2 years and just drove around the country.
I don't know how my parents managed to deal with it because we were
Yeah.
living in New York at the time. So driving from New York to go and visit my aunt in California,
Oh, yeah.
making that I was 3, my brother was 5, and our next older sister was 8.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a long ways to travel with 3
You
kids
know
under
what?
10.
Women openly used Xanax a lot back then.
I don't know if my mom did. I wouldn't have blamed her. I'm number 8. So I would not have.
Oh,
4 of them were her
Kevin.
stepkids. 4 were her stepkids, but still, you know,
Still,
it's
family's
enough.
family.
It's enough.
Wow, eight.
So,
All right, so
8
we
is
started
enough.
this new thing last time. I've got a little basket of questions in here. They're like icebreaker questions. So we just pick one out and that's how we get started talking. So let's see what you get today. Oh my gosh, it's too tiny to read. I got to get a different one. Okay. What piece of advice would you give to your 16-year-old self?
Uh,
It doesn't have to be book related. We talk about everything here.
16-year-old self. Watch out for who you make friends with.
Good advice.
Just,
Good
yeah,
advice.
no. I had some friends in high school that I thought were gonna remain with me,
Sure.
and I haven't talked to them in 19 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just,
Yeah. That's a good piece of advice. What about you, Megan? What kind of advice would you give to your 16-year-old self? Are you hearing me
Sorry,
today?
I
Yeah.
had to figure out how to
Yeah.
unmute my audio. I
Yeah.
would say don't marry him would be like my 3 words of like,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
just which boils down to don't do something that doesn't value your worth.
Be true to yourself.
Yeah,
That whole
always.
story there. I'm trying to think what I was doing when I was 16. I think it's gonna be something like it's not the end of the world. Like that's the advice I would, I feel like when you're 16, when drama happens, you literally think you're gonna die. Like that's it. It's all done. Every little thing. And so I think that's what I would tell myself. It's not really the end of the world. Spare everyone all the drama.
And it's never really the end of the world. You just have to learn
No.
how to
Yeah.
deal with it and you
Yeah. Life
grow and
goes
you,
on. You got to
I'm trying
keep
to
yeah.
think
moving.
what at 16 would have been the end of the world to me.
Well, like
I can't
a
think.
boy breaks up with
Oh,
you, or someone's saying a rumor about you, or anything. The football team
uh,
lost the big game. Or
16 was my first boyfriend. I did ha the only bad thing I can think of when I was 16 that year was my grandmother had her quadruple bypass surgery, so we were all very worried for her. And it was
yeah,
right around my 16th birthday, so I didn't have a party. My party was sitting in my grandmother's hospital room waiting for her to recover.
right.
Though I
Were you
did get the
resentful?
enjoyment of my sister showing up to the hospital with her new seeing eye dog. She has night blindness,
Uh,
and her husband at the time is allergic to pet dander, so she had to have a dog that didn't have dander. So my sister is a little bit of is a plus size girl, love her, but she's walking down the hallway of the hospital with her little service dog, and when I say little service dog, it's a Chihuahua.
yeah.
And my dad's laughing, and I was just and me and Grandma were like, "What are you laughing about?" And he's just and then
How
she
funny.
walks in, and we start laughing too.
Was the dog effective as a seeing eye dog at that
For
little
her
tiny
night
house?
blind for her night blindness in the sense like if she's getting home at night she wouldn't drive at night but like
Right,
for walking outside like from her
right.
car and she did a lot of camping and stuff so
Uh-huh.
he was very helpful on those camping event on her camping trips because at night you gotta find the bathrooms
Right,
see where the
right,
bathrooms are set up at that campsite so he was at least good to help guide her from point A to B
right,
in the dark
right.
so
Oh, funny.
she still keeps chihuahuas to this day. And her new
Yeah.
service dog, Cherry, is a long-haired Chihuahua. But
Oh,
she does more than just for this site. She knows how to check like your glucose levels and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So yeah,
Yeah. Isn't that amazing what they can train dogs to do? I find that
indeed.
pretty cool. Megan's got a soft spot for the Chihuahua.
oh, totally. I was just crying last night about missing Honey, my chihuahua,
Yeah. Yeah.
because I've really been missing home. I've been missing California. I miss my family. My Nana was in the hospital. She had blood clots in her lungs.
Oh
And
no.
she's okay now, but I was like, I miss California. And then I was like, oh, I miss Honey. And
Yeah.
I was just posting on TikTok last night. I want another Chihuahua, but I don't feel like anyone will be as perfect as Honey was. And then I know everyone says when you get a new dog, it doesn't matter if they're as perfect as your last dog. You learn to love them and they fill in all the gaps,
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
whatever. But I'm just like, oh, I can't imagine because we have 12 cats that live here. So
Right.
I can see
I
one.
can't,
Yeah,
I
there's
see a
two,
tortie
the
over
one
your
back there.
shoulder.
Yeah.
yeah, so that's Betty. So I can't imagine another dog like learning to live with all the cats and like just
Right.
all the things. So
Yeah. It's always scary bringing a new animal into the mix. Oh, so tell me, Bryant, what you write romantasy, is that correct?
Romance, in paranormal and comedy and contemporary, not comedy, contemporary.
I was gonna say paranormal and comedy. Is that ever a combo? It
I
might be
mean,
really funny.
there are some scenes that make people
Yeah.
laugh,
Yeah.
so there's that, but nothing that's strictly in that theme of it has to be a comedy. I think I've only written one true romantic comedy that has where there were actually dog perspectives,
Yeah.
a
Oh,
corgi and a lion burger, which those are the big long-haired dogs that are like
like the Newfies.
giant, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, big
Yeah.
babies.
So is that what you primarily do is animal like shifter stuff?
For the most part, yeah, my larger series is all werewolves basically,
Werewolves.
with some vampires, and the most recent book in the series also brought in angels and demons, but
Hmm.
my take on them.
Yeah. And what got you into that subgenre? Is that what you enjoy reading?
I mean, I read various stuff. Most of the stuff that I've read has actually been like from what I started out with, you're talking like rom-coms and fantasy romance, like Outlander. Obviously, I've
Right.
read that.
Right.
I actually own the entire series. I have got its own dedicated shelf along with the Lord John series. But, then I got into the apps where the shifter, actually the shifter romance stuff, actually I got into because of Lisa Ledoux's book series, The One True Mates.
Uh-huh.
I really liked that, and that kind of got me into looking into more of the shifter romances. Otherwise, it's been contemporary and rom-coms like Pippa Grant.
Right.
I I have all of her books.
Yeah. I am a big Megan Quinn fan. Big. I love her. I am like belly laughing out loud, and it's just, it's new for me to be into rom-coms because I've not always been, but man, she makes me laugh. She's a funny lady.
Yeah,
Just
I
some of the
gotta
stuff, and she just
enjoy them
goes
because
on, and I'm dying. It's too funny. Yeah.
one of my first Pippa Grant books, the Frenemies, Flirting with a Frenemy. It was like disaster. Ellie was kind of a disaster. Like, and her laugh, not her laugh, it was her sneeze. Like, she has one of those, what's wrong with you sneezes? Like,
Right.
you gonna hurt
Everyone
yourself
stops.
sneeze?
Like,
Everyone stops and just like, what was that?
yeah.
And it was funny.
My husband has a sneeze like that.
And Pippa Grant's husband has a sneeze
Yeah.
like that, apparently, because that's where a
That's
lot of
where it came
that
from.
sneeze idea
Yeah.
comes from, is
Yeah.
because of him.
It's very disruptive, I'll say. Yeah, disruptive. But
Otherwise, I think for the whole the paranormal stuff, I'm gonna blame my older sister, Christy. She got me, she was very into D&D and Vampire the Masquerade and stuff when she was in
yeah,
college,
yeah.
and I was like pre-teens at that point because there's enough age gap. And so I'd be hanging out with her up at her college with her college buddies, and they'd be doing LARPing of Vampire the
Right.
Masquerade stuff,
Right.
and I had to make up a character and dialogue for my character and a scene and
Right.
all this. So
Yeah.
it just kind of
Got into it.
was there. Yep,
My
it's her
kids
fault.
are into this thing called Magic the Gathering.
My sister was big into Magic.
Yeah.
She had a lot of cards. I tried learning how to play it once. I gave up on it. She gave me her cards, and then I gave my cards to our nephew.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. They play it
yeah,
and they're, trying to show me. And when I saw the size of the type on the cards, I'm like, I'm done. I cannot deal with this.
oh yeah.
I don't think I could see it with my strongest glasses on. It's really tiny. So I'm like, that's exhausting. I cannot.
My husband has tried to get our son to understand Magic. Like he was showing him Magic like on a video game,
Uh-huh.
Magic the Gathering as a video game, and my bestie had sent my son Magic the Gathering as a card game, and he's just like, I don't understand these rules. I'm gonna go back to playing, at the time it was like I'm gonna go back to playing Minecraft.
Right. Yeah. Everyone loves Minecraft. It's like the gateway drug to Minecraft, or before, was it like
Roblox.
Roblox? Yeah, that was
Yeah,
the
he did
gateway.
my son did that for a long time. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
How many kids do you have?
Just the one, and that was more than enough.
Yeah. Yeah, now it gives a whole new perspective about your parents having eight.
Yeah, yeah, I'm amazed I had the one
My God.
after it's like, yeah.
Do you have a lot of younger siblings that you had to
I'm
help
I'm
parent?
just the youngest.
Oh, you're the
I
youngest.
am number 8.
Yeah.
And like when my son was little, he wanted like a little brother or sister, and like he actually drew like a picture, like a stick figure family. And like I'm
Yeah.
like, what am I holding? He's just like, that's my baby brother. I was just like, no,
You get out the eraser. Look.
that's not happening. I'm
Yeah.
like, no, no. As I'm telling you right now, I can call any one of your 7 aunts and uncles and ask, and you can ask them how they liked having younger siblings, and they're gonna tell you enjoy being an only child.
Right. Right. I think there's probably benefits and, and drawbacks for both from being an only child and then from being one of so many. I mean, 8 is a lot. That's a lot. That's got to be considered a lot by anyone's standards.
Yeah,
I'm one of 4, so that's like double
we at
that.
least had a decent age gap. My dad liked to say he started early and ended late because
Yeah,
there's a 20-year span between the
between
oldest
all
and
of
me
us.
being the youngest.
Right,
So never once were all 8 of us living in the same house. We were
right.
only all in the same place at the same time for family events.
Holidays, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
weddings,
My
funerals, and
mom,
holidays.
my mom had all 4 of us in 5 years.
Oh, oh.
I mean, it almost seems physically impossible, but that's how it is. And so that is like 6 years of being pregnant, basically, and coming out on the other side with 4 babies. So I
Yeah,
don't
no,
even know how the hell she did that because no,
no.
no.
Some
So
people can do it. Some people,
yeah. No, I see these people on TikTok that have all these kids, and I'm like,
they're all
what
so
are
close in
you
age.
doing? Like, you don't have
Yeah,
to populate the world yourself. It's
yeah, no, and
good.
that was part of my thought process. I was like, I don't need to add. I'm number 8. I have my by the time I was 2, I was an aunt.
Oh my God.
So I'm like, my siblings are already handling the repopulation
Yeah,
idea.
yeah. You grew up with your cousins as your siblings, probably then, or not your cousins, your nieces and nephews.
My oldest nephew the most because he spent the most time in our house growing up and eventually lived with us at one point for the later part of his life. So he's more of a little brother than a nephew,
Right, right,
which is another reason I can tell my son he should just be an only child, be happy with it.
right, right.
And now that he's a teenager and he sees his friends that have younger siblings, he's just like, I was like, aren't you glad you're an only child? He's like, yes.
Yeah. How old is he?
13,
13.
going on like 80 some days
Yeah.
because like he will tell us to turn down music. He
How
will
funny.
he will tell me language. I've actually had my child, he was like 9 in the back seat of the car and I cursed during uh, somebody cutting me off in
Right,
traffic. I
right. Yeah.
cursed, which isn't uncommon. You read Megan can probably attest to if she reads my books, looking at any of my books, there's cursing.
Well, sure. First all
I
the
like to
time.
sprinkle that around. But he literally he's 9. He goes, language. And I was just like,
Excuse me.
what?
Yeah,
Okay, Captain America.
right, right. See, you're the child. I'm the parent.
Yeah, he's also the one who asked me, he's like, how old do I have to be before I can say a curse word? I was like, I'll give you $5 right now to say one.
I always said when you're old enough to know when it's appropriate to use it.
Yeah. I was raised that words are words. You just have to know in what context you're using it and the
Exactly. Yep.
setting.
Right. Like,
Because,
is it, you could say something to your friends on the playground that you're not going to say to your teacher, right?
yeah,
So when you know what that difference is, that's when you can use other words.
exactly. He won't, he was offered $20 to, I think it was said, just to say the word shit. And he's just like, no.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's the easiest $20 you can make in your
No
life.
kidding, right? I'd say it. I'd do it. I was just listening to a podcast of this terrifying, not epidemic, because I think it's been going on for a while, but it's getting so much worse. And it's the like they're calling it cyber blackmail of the young kids on social media and by predators. So they get talking to them, they pretend they're kids their age, they start talking to them, they get them to send them pictures, inappropriate pictures. It just goes on, and then it turns out it's an adult, and then it's, if you don't want me to send this to all of your friends who I'm also friends with, you can see I'm in your group of friends,
Yep.
then send me $500 or send me gift cards or whatever. And I guess a lot of it's coming from overseas, the predators, but it was the
My
FBI.
son's not on social media or anything.
Yeah. And
He
just,
has a Discord, and I think that's the extent of it. And
and
his
that
Discord
is,
is
they
just
said
the friends he's with school.
even the the gaming systems, you say
Hmm.
if you are on the internet, you are susceptible to it because people are on there too and doing that, and just,
Yep.
talk to your kids, and you got to just keep talking to them. And I just thought, oh my God, it's so terrifying. And I mean, I have two kids, but they're older now. And my son was into the gaming and stuff, but yeah,
Yeah.
I'm glad that I'm done with that phase, because I think it is a different world now, the social media,
Yes, it is
oh,
very different.
it's
A kid at
crazy.
least knows that if he doesn't know this person like in person, he doesn't need to know them online.
Right. And that's what they were saying. You have to figure, like, the golden rule is if you never met them for real in real life, that's not who they say, they're not who they say they are. They're lying. Just figure they're lying,
Yep.
because most people that befriend you on the internet are going to tell some sort of lie, about something, just because it's the nature of the platform. So,
Yeah. With how
hmm,
many, I don't even know if is Catfish on MTV still? Is that still a thing?
I don't
I
know.
just remember that TV show where like they'd catch catfish.
And that's, I have not, when my son was little, we blocked MTV out of our house because I saw something one time and I was like, oh my God, no, I don't even, just like some kind of house party, something. And I was like,
Oh yeah, because MTV turned
oh
into it's no
God,
longer
no.
music. It's just reality. Like
Yeah.
anytime we like go to we go on vacation and you're stuck in a hotel room for any reason
Yeah.
and you're stuck with whatever's on the TV, so you're stuck with the cable.
Right.
And if
Right.
you look at MTV, it's literally just the ridiculous channel. Like there's
Yeah.
a show called Ridiculousness, and it's just a bunch of internet clips. It's a clip show of from
Oh,
internet
yeah.
fail
There
videos
used
and
to
stuff like
be
that.
one on, I'm trying to remember what it was called, World's Funniest or something like that. And
Yep.
Joe Rogan was a host on it, and Danny Bonaducci. And that's all it was. It was just clips of memes and stuff, internet,
Yeah.
like you're saying, internet fails. So, hmm, we have had weather that has been so bad. Like the past 2 days, it's finally been under 80 degrees, but for probably 3 weeks, it was like over 110 every day, Megan, here. So bad.
No.
So
I
bad.
can't
I mean,
believe
that's
that.
just not California weather. And of course, now everything's on fire. So,
It was like 100 degrees in Baltimore, and now it's been like 70. So
mhm.
I am like leaning into the fall. That's why I have a sweater on right now.
Yeah.
I'm loving it every day waking up that it's not so hot.
Yeah.
But I have heard that California has been super hot. And wasn't there an earthquake like a day ago or 2 days ago? Like a
We've had a
4.5?
like cluster of them, and they've been big, like over 4.0, which, for,
Yeah, a
if you
big
don't know
one.
earthquake language, that's big. And and then they are coming like several in a day, and it's like, what is going on? And now, right now, up by Corona, in that Horseseed Canyon area just north of Elsinore, it is on fire. Like, it burned from Trabuco Canyon in Orange County across the Ortega into Elsinore. So
Oh my
hundreds of
God,
thousands of acres have been destroyed.
terrible.
Yeah, it's so bad.
That's so
So bad.
terrible.
The air quality was like black for a few days, and ash everywhere and stuff. So I think, I don't know that it's contained yet, but I think they have gotten a handle on it now that the temperatures have dropped. But
Oh, that's awful. I had no idea about the fires, but I
yeah,
heard about the earthquake.
lots of evacuation, and sad, sad, sad. So, do we have any questions, Megan, from our watchers, viewers?
Yes. So the first one and the second one both kind of go together. So I'm going to ask you, Bryant. They're asking, how do you find your books? Do you look up Bryant and then I know that you write on Good Novels, so they probably don't realize that yet. But
Hmm.
how do you find your books? And also, where should they start with your books?
So on Amazon, you should be able to find me just under Bryant or yeah, because it's just Bryant. I mean, I also if because Amazon trying to search Amazon gets weird sometimes. I know that much. I do have my own website of authorbryantnovels.com that has all of my books and links directly to them. In the paranormal books, the werewolves, it starts with Alpha Logan. He's book one in the Blood Moon series and of the overall because it kind of splits into two packs. But Alpha Logan is definitely the place to start, and we're up to 5 books between the two packs available on Amazon. They're on Amazon. It's only in paperback because I publish on Good Novel, which is its own app, so they have the ebook rights. Um, so that's where. So otherwise,
Is
they're all on
that's
e
a stipulation of this good novel? You can only be there, you can't then be everywhere else?
with the I signed a with the exclusive contract that I have with them. Yes, they offer non-exclusive contracts. So I know a number of my fellow authors on the app. They have non-exclusive, so they also publish on different apps as well.
Hmm.
They're on Ream, they're on Dream, and all these different all the other ones in between.
So
Uh,
on those apps, is it like episodic or is it a full novel?
it's epi there. You can find a full novel as you can find the completed, or you can be reading an ongoing. So you know how Amazon has the Kindle novella? No, yeah, Kindle
Bella.
Vella.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
Vella. It's that same idea. It's
Right,
Vella,
right.
but on its own individual app
How
outside of
often do you
Amazon.
have to update? Like, how often do you have to upload an episode?
Every author is a little bit different. I usually, when I'm publishing a new book, I'm uploading a chapter a day, Monday through Saturday, taking Sundays as like my
Yeah,
day off
yeah, yeah.
from any new publishing. Uh, I just this month completed, I don't know what book number I would call it. 'Cause there's all these short stories. I think it's like book 19, 20 in the overall series.
Hmm.
I just completed that on Good Novel. Um, and I'm currently editing book number 6 so that it'll be ready for paperback. So I'm getting it formatted and everything and
Right, right,
making it look all nice and fancy.
right, right.
So that I'm hoping to have that released by Halloween.
And is it that good novel? Is it a subscription app or is it
It,
free? You just go on there? I'm not
it's
familiar with
Yep,
it, so I'm just curious
it's a
how it
free app.
works.
It's a free app in that sense. You do have to spend you spend coins for every episode you're reading, just like with Kindle Vella.
Hmm.
You can either purchase a grouping of I think it's like you could get 100 coins for like $1 type idea,
Right.
and they do offer a subscription that you could pay a monthly fee and you get X number of coins, then plus you get some bonus coins that you can use on top of that. You also can earn bonus coins by reading. So say you've read for 5 minutes, you get bonus coins for that. I think it's like 10 bonus coins. You read for
Mhm.
10 minutes, 10 or 15 minutes, it then goes up more. You get more bonus
Right.
coins.
Right.
So you're getting extra coins for the more you're reading and for
And then
sharing.
how many coins do you have to spend, say, for a chapter?
I think on average, my chapters have been, from what readers have told me, they're like 30 coins.
Oh,
It's,
yeah.
yeah.
So do they have audio?
They have an app called Good FM. So
Uh-huh.
they do
Version of
audiobooks.
it, that audio, right?
Yep. They offer, I don't know if they used to. I've had some readers tell me that the app stopped doing it, but they were offering a computer voice over of
Hmm.
listening just in
Yeah, like
app.
AI. Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas on the Good FM app that they have for the audiobooks, they actually have brought in voice actors.
Animated. Yeah. Interesting.
Um,
I'll have to look at
so
that.
it's an
See?
interesting thing, and I've some people have had good success with it, some people haven't. And that's just like anywhere else you're going to talk, you think of for publishing.
Absolutely. Yep.
It's always hit or miss. And I knew doing this was going to be a huge gamble. I actually didn't expect to have any much of a reader base. My best friend Solange was like, do it, publish it, publish it, do
No.
it. See
Yeah.
if they'll accept it. Because you have to, I mean, you have to submit, they have a requirements of you have to have at least 5,000 words to start out
Mhm.
with so that they can kind of get it be an idea of what you're how you're writing, your writing
Right,
style,
right,
and you
right.
have to provide an outline,
Oh yeah.
which is the worst part for me because I don't write off an outline.
Yeah, if you're a pantser, an
I am
outline can be
100%
difficult. Yeah.
pantser because I have a vague I walk into any book with a vague idea. I know who the leads are and
Right.
that it's going to end with them being happy, but everything in between
In
just kind
between
of
is
it's just
yeah.
the characters take the wheel and do their own
Yeah.
things because sometimes I walk in I'm like okay so like with Beta Surprise Mate, which is the second book in the series, I had this whole plan in mind. I was like, okay, so the female lead was going to just strictly be a human who had no idea about the supernatural world or anything.
Uh-huh.
And then left turn. She grew up as a hunter, so she knows all about the supernatural, but she
Right,
left
right.
that world behind, and now she has a mate, a
Sure.
werewolf, and she's just like,
And that's the creative process.
yeah. And then you get to like book two in the Incubi series, and Andre, who is pretty much everybody's favorite. He's the always fabulous alpha, and he just went and did anything he wanted. I'm just like,
There's always an Andre in the pack. Let me just
yes,
tell
oh
you.
my God. And every book he's in, because he's in his dad's book, he's in obviously his book, and then he's in his sister's book, and then he's in his cousin's books, and he pops up over in the Blood Moon books. Every book he's in, like his scenes, he's just like, I'm here.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Funny. Funny. All
There's
right,
just no
Megan,
controlling
do
him.
we have more questions?
More questions. Sorry.
No, it's
We
fine.
got into a tangent, Megan. You
That's
said there
how
was
we
two
do it.
questions that related.
That's how we do it.
No, this is good. Kimberly wants to know, Bryant, are all your books supernatural?
Not all of them. So I have one series, which is the Blood Moon and Incubi Packs. That is the Supernatural series. I have the Ravenwood series, which is contemporary. The first book is available on Amazon in paperback. It's a reverse harem high school romance, and the subsequent books deal with more characters from that line. Then I have my holiday series, which I apparently Megan is one of Megan's favorites. I started it last year. This is the one where I'm self-publishing it to Amazon. I'm not doing this one through Good Novel. I did it as my November writing last year,
Right.
because Nano
Yeah.
National
Yeah.
Writing, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't remember the exact I can't remember what it's supposed to stand for. But basically the idea that you're supposed to write 50,000 words
In the month.
in the
Yep.
month of November.
Yep.
And I was like, all right, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And I decided I was going to do this. And I decided, I'm like, well, it's November. By the time I'm done this, we're going to be in December. I'm doing a Christmas book. And I was like, I'm only going to do this once. This is going to be just one book, one Christmas book. And it's the most hallmarky book I've ever done, according to my three moderators, Sarah, Kellen, and Xenia. They're just like, this is so hallmark, but with more sex scenes and swearing. I was just like, yeah, because it's still a Bryant book.
Right.
And so I've got the Noel Clause, which it's supposed to be kind of it's somewhere between a second chance because these were two high school flames that broke up and decided they hated each other for very unknown, misunderstandings that now because of circumstances have to pretend to be engaged. And I was like, it's going to be one book. It's going to be one book. And then as I'm writing it and getting through it, and I'm talking to my three friends in my chat group, and suddenly one book has now turned into a 6 book series that
Yeah.
every November I'm going to take a break from whatever else I'm writing, and I'm
Right.
going to, in that month of November, I'm going to write the next book of the Noel
Right.
series
Right.
about this small little Colorado town that is all about Christmas. They have a toy factory, like an old-fashioned, like they're hand making toys, toy
Right.
factory.
Right.
And which is what and I'm planning book 2 to start, and I'm going to start writing book 2 in November because that's my challenge every November is to, for at least the next 5 years,
Yeah. Yeah.
in another one.
And it's good. It's good to break away from the paranormal just for a little bit, you
Yeah,
know. Nice.
just every now and then. And I mean, the Ravenwood series, I've got 5 books in. I have to do some editing and getting those out for paperback, but they're all completed on Good Novel. And I'm almost actually done with this generation of my paranormal ones. I've got a short story and the final book of the overarching series, which is going to be the one that everybody should have a box of tissues for, because it's going to be the most heart-wrenching one, the most painful one.
Yeah.
I'm not I'm looking forward to writing it, but not because I know that it's going to be a lot of painful stuff that has to go through.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I've got more Ravenwood I plan on writing after that one.
Nice. You're a busy girl.
Yeah, they don't stop talking. They're just
Yeah.
in my head.
I
I
hear
mean,
that. Then now they bring their friends.
yes, so many, because that's how I ended. I have an anthology of short stories because of the fact that I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do these books, and then like I had a 6 book series planned. It was gonna be 6 books. That was gonna be it. Then I start writing, and then the Incubi pack comes up, and I'm like, okay, well, now I have to add in this. I have to add in the Diamore family, so that's 3 more books. But then that should actually be longer because I need to include these 2, so that's gonna be 5 books. But then from that, it's like, oh well, these short stories, these little side characters, they need to be talked about. So they get like little novella short stories. But then
Yeah, this
there are,
is how these big worlds are created. It just keeps going. One
yeah,
story begets another.
yep. And like the story that I'm editing now to hopefully have out in October, there's a side character in that who I wasn't planning. He annoyed a lot of people in Beta Surprise Mate, and he redeems himself in a sense he redeems himself in the Reluctant Alpha that I'm working on getting put out. And I was just like, people were like, well, wait, how do we get from what happened to him between Surprise Mate and what we see when he shows up in the Reluctant Alpha? Because he shows up with a mate. What's all this about? Where did we happen? So then I'm like, okay, well, I'll write like a novella, and his book ended up being, I think it was close to 70 or 80,000 words long.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was just like, that's too long to technically be a novella.
Yeah, it's not a novella anymore. Now you got a novel.
Yeah, and then there's like Alpha Logan's adopted daughter way back in book 1 when we met her. She was a bratty 10-year-old. And they're like, what happened to her? And that's this most recent book that I finished. And her book is a reverse harem, and it ended up being over 100,000 words.
That's a heavy book. Jeez.
Well, you've got 4 points of view. It just gets,
Oh, yeah.
because you gotta, when you get that reverse harem going, you gotta make sure you. This is why I don't. I'm like, I can't. I don't know
I
how some people
really
go into
I
this.
know this is controversial. I take almost issue with that term reverse harem.
Yeah, because I'm just like, I'm like, it should be a harem. I mean,
Because a harem is like by definition a bunch of women, right? And one man.
yep. So reverse is a
Reverse
bunch of
is
men and one woman.
it's like, why isn't it just a harem? It's like when people say
Reverse
racism and and
incest.
and reverse racism, no, it's all racism, people.
Yeah.
That's it. So it's just in my head, it's like it should just be a harem. But again, that's just my head. It's like that.
Yep.
So Yeah.
Yep.
All
And
right,
that's just,
do we have
it's
more?
just a trope.
Yeah, people love that too. Are there more
So,
questions,
more
Megan?
questions.
Yes, there are a few, but I wanted to say that my favorite story about my life in romance is that when I started working with you, Victoria, you introduced me to romance. And I wasn't sure how I would feel because being a queer person reading straight romance, I was like,
Right.
how am I gonna feel? And I loved it and I
Yeah.
still love it. I like gobble it up. But reading Bryant stuff with the Christmas story, I was like, I am a Hallmark girl. I would love a
Yeah.
love story, like a Christmas love story all year long. I love it. I
Yeah.
didn't know that about myself. It just,
And
you
what is it?
know,
Is it the small town vibe that you like, or
I
is it the
love
Chris?
town. I love Christmas.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love both of them. So it's just weird the things you learn about yourself reading.
Yeah.
You're like, I will never stop learning
You
about
watch the
myself.
Hallmark Channel ever?
No, not really, but I think I would love it if I did.
You will be hooked if you start
Yeah.
because that's all it is.
We
Well,
did.
that's
Miranda and I watched one movie last year, and I was like, I didn't want to like it, but
Yeah.
I loved it and I was
Yeah.
into it. And then we haven't watched it since, and
I
she's
hear her
laughing back
laughing.
again.
I hear her
She's
laughing. Yeah.
laughing.
well, even if you don't want, even if it's not Hallmark, because I don't watch any of the Hallmark movies. My mother and my sister have watched those, but I don't. I've never been a Hallmarky person because it's just like whatever. And then I wrote the book, and I was just like, this is as close as I'm getting to it. I'm still gonna have sex scenes, and I'm still gonna swear, dang it. But if you watch on Netflix, they especially around Christmas, like they have a Prince for Christmas. They have the the princess switches, and they have the Christmas calendar or
I think
whatever. They
there's
have all these
something
different like little, and they're very Hallmarky like.
there's something
It's just
super
become its own term.
comforting about that predictability of that type of movie or book, where you know what to expect. It's not going to be like in a typical angsty contemporary romance or whatever you have, where you're like, what the hell just happened? That's typically what my books are like, what? But yeah, people like that predictability because you're just there to relax and read and some light entertainment. You're not looking to get your, mind blown every couple of chapters. So
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah.
Okay. For both of you, are there, I don't know if this is like a okay question to ask, but are there any authors that you would love to co-write with?
I obviously have lots and lots of experience co-writing. I love the experience. It's so different than writing myself. And I would pretty much entertain writing with anybody that, wanted to do it. It would just depend on, for me, more the project than, the author or their accolades or whatever. It would really be if they had like a project in mind that I was right for and that we could tell this story best together. So,
Yeah, pretty much kind of the similar because a lot of times I'm just thinking I'm like because co-writing I've done it in a sense because before I started publishing like in high school like my friends and I we had a notebook that we would just pass back and forth. I'd write a scene, my friend would write a scene, and it was
I did
just
that too in grade school, believe it or not. In seventh grade, I had a little like, it was really more of a play going on because it was like a script. But I had forgotten that I did that for a long time. And then I started writing and, got published. And I was like, and people say, how long have you been writing? I'm like, oh, since 2011. And then I'm like, no, wait, I was writing when I was younger and I just totally forgot about doing
yeah.
that. It was nothing,
And like I did there was a website Avid Gamers or something like that. It was something Avid. And like it was an X-Men RPG, so, but in a forum.
Mhm.
And that's where a few things for my books actually kind of like stem from. Like the original, I brought those characters out and I'm like, you're not going to be mutants anymore.
Yeah.
You're going to be werewolves.
Yeah.
which is which is exactly why Alpha Logan is only 5'5", because he's based off from my favorite X-Men character, Wolverine, who is actually only 5'2".
Is Wolverine only 5'2"?
In the comics, yep, he's only 5'2", which is
Interesting.
it. No, nope, I'm not going to spoil anybody who hasn't already seen Deadpool and Wolverine. Nope, not going to spoil that.
Oh, so you're a Marvel stan. I feel it in the air.
The more recent Marvel movies and shows I haven't watched. I think the last, like we watched Guardians 3, and I was just like, because like you saw some of the commercials and like they have them carrying, Chris Pratt's character. I was like, they're gonna kill Star-Lord? Yes, yes, no, shit. I wanted some more. I'm like, mm,
I've never seen any of them, so I'm just listening because I can't even add to it. It's not
but
my vibe. So I'm
yep,
like,
I've
yeah, I've seen the Wolverine ones because I found them entertaining. I love the one with the little girl. What a
yep,
great story.
Logan.
God, that was a good
When I
story.
went to go, and I actually own um a number of comics and graphic novels dealing with Logan. Like there's Old Man Logan, which is him like far in the future as a seriously old man, and there's
Yeah,
like Hulk. There are Hulks, inbred Hulks. It's weird, but
interesting.
like, but I also own the graphic novel for Wolverine Origins, the true origin, not what the movie did, because the
Right,
movie
right.
completely ruined it
Yeah.
the
I was
entire
going to
time. I was
ask
just
you
like,
that. Do you feel frustrated with the interpretation of the big
when I
three?
watched the Origins, I was just like, I'm gonna
That's
watch
not how
this.
it goes.
But I'm like, no, that's not right. Dog is not Sabretooth, and Dog is not actually his. No, no, and furthermore, no.
I've been like that in movies. That's not how it goes. I'm just
Yep.
telling you, that's not the real way.
Like, no,
People are
don't
like, lady,
change my.
stop. Shut up.
I mean, I'm quiet during movies when I'm like, for the most part, I try not to be that person. But I remember going to go see Logan with my husband. We're out at the movie theaters, and we're about 20 minutes into the movie, the actual movie, not counting the 20 minutes of,
Right. Trailers. Oh my God.
trailers. But we're about 20 minutes into the actual movie, and there's a huge power outage in the area, and the theater loses power, and they have
Oh
no
my
idea
God.
when they're going to get power back. And we end up, and like there's this, they don't do that. They didn't exit anybody in an orderly fashion. Like if they were smart, they would have gone theater by theater. Like this theater, come over. We can either refund your tickets or we can get you for a showing another day.
Right.
And done it theater by theater. They just let all the theaters out at the same time with the announcement that you have to go over to the desk to the ticket counter to either refund your tickets or to get new tickets.
Right.
So you have a theater
The
that has
mob, a
like
flash
20,
mob.
you have
Yeah.
20 theaters getting let out, and all these people wanting to rush over to get their new, especially for the people who the movie hadn't ended yet or was like
Like
ours
being at the
just
airport when
began.
a flight is canceled.
Yeah. So I didn't get to watch it until like I found it on DVD, Blu-ray DVD, and I was like, yes, okay,
Picking
finish
up where
watching
we
this
left
movie.
off. Yeah. Yeah.
And then I loved it. And
Yeah.
then that movie actually plays into Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh.
It factors into it.
I will probably watch it when you can watch it at home.
Yeah.
I tend to fall asleep in movie theaters. So does my husband. So we're
Chairs
like,
aren't that
Or
comfortable.
do I?
we're too old. We're just
Chairs
too
are
old.
not.
The minute I sit still for that long, I'm done. I'm
Well, that's why I
out.
don't go to movies late. Like I look at it, I'm like, okay, how long's this movie? When's it start? Is it going to end before my bedtime?
Yeah. And
What
then
was
there is the irrational thing I
it?
have in my head about lice from movie theater seats. And if you didn't have that in your head, you do now. You're welcome. Because it freaks me out. I'm like, I can't put my head on that thing. Like with all this hair, could you imagine getting lice? I can't. It just, oh my God. And so I have an issue with movie theater seats because I'm like, who sat here before me? Do they spray these down? I don't think they do. But yeah, it's just another weird thing.
Okay, so Victoria,
Yes,
Dana
ma'am.
said when we were talking about co-writing, she said you would be great with Lexi Blake. So that was
Ah,
Dana's comment about that.
well,
But
that's a
also,
great compliment.
it's already 10 o'clock,
Oh
so
my
it's
gosh.
past our bedtime here in the East Coast. But I want to leave with this question and then we'll do the giveaway. For both of you, I know this has already been asked, but I think it's always a worthwhile question. Do you have a favorite character from your books for both of you?
I think everyone knows my answers already. They don't really change. Except I was thinking about this the other day. Honestly, it popped into my head. I said that I love Grant and Rio, of course, and
I love
um
Rio.
and Mac and Taylor will always be so big in my heart. So those are the two couples that I love the most. But I also love Shepard and Agatha too. So
I
it's
was
so
gonna say, what
hard.
about Agatha?
I
Agatha is
know.
my
I
girl.
know. So I would pick one from every series.
Hmm.
How about you, Brian? I think this Alpha Logan guy is
Oh,
no, it was the other one.
he's always my favorite
Yeah.
just because he was my first book too, and he's based off from Logan. And I love the fact that he's an alpha, but he's only my height.
Yeah.
So
Well, Alpha is inside. It's not physical height, right?
and like it's great because he's the younger. It's great because he's the younger brother, and his older brother, him and his older brother look basically alike. Their height is the difference,
Mhm.
and obviously the aura. And people would always assume his older brother is the alpha because he's the
Yeah.
tall one and he's the older one, and it's just and the older brother's like, no, it's him.
Yeah. It's the little guy.
Except you can never call him little because and it's like a running gag. Anytime somebody like goes to try and make a joke as for his height, they immediately get their mouth covered by somebody from the pack going, no, no, shut up.
Yeah.
Shush, shush,
Is he
shush.
sensitive about his height?
He was called a runt a lot
Yeah.
when he was young.
Yeah.
So, because he was small and he
Yeah.
was small even as a
He's
child.
got
So
a little Napoleon complex.
it's that small dog complex.
Yeah.
It's a little dog.
Yeah.
Little dog, big bark, big bite. Um, and otherwise, I mean, I guess I will give Andre second place, though he thinks he should be first place because he's everybody's first place. Everybody loves Andre because he's the one who's got he's got the flair and the style, and
Yeah.
everybody loves
The
him.
big personality.
Yet he always has like these moments that you're just like, that was very profound of you.
Yeah. He's the sleeper. What are you giving away to our viewers this evening?
The Noel clause.
Nice.
Dealer's choice. I have copies in paperback, or you can have an ebook because I know some people prefer the ease of an ebook,
Right. Right.
whereas I know that some people
I
like to have
am going to start this little part
one
out
cover.
by saying, for the people that have not gotten their books from me yet, I am so sorry. I was telling Megan the other day, all of a sudden, I was like, I have not looked at that spreadsheet in a long time. So I think there's like 4 people on that list that are waiting for things from me, and I will get those out this week. It's like back in the front of my brain. So I am so sorry, but it's going to happen. And then tonight, whoever gets it gets Shepherd's book. And if you have read Shepherd's book and you enjoyed it, could you go review it? I would super appreciate that. That's it. That's all I got.
Okay. Sorry. So the winner for Victoria Blue is Kimberly, and for Bryant, it's Dana. So
Nice.
he
Congrats.
or I will be in touch. Sorry, my voice is going out now. I don't know why. One of us will be in touch to get you your books.
Yeah.
Yay!
Well, it was a pleasure talking with you, and thanks
You
for
too.
coming on in a pinch. I know we had a little bit of a crazy situation go on there with our scheduling, so I appreciate you pinch
Not a
hitting
problem.
tonight.
Not a problem. Thank you for having me. It was fun.
My pleasure. My pleasure. All right, everyone, be good. Be kind to everyone.
We'll see you next month because we
Yes,
do
ma'am.
have
Yeah, we're gonna be back.
Yeah,
We got our shit
we're
together
doing
now.
it. We're getting back on track.
Yeah.
We're getting
All
back on
right.
track with our months. Okay. Bye. See you next
Bye,
Bye.
everybody. Good night.